Guys have been honored with numerous awards, including several Junos and Dove Awards. The band Down Here is into their 9th year of ministry and just released their 4th studio album last week. That song was called My Last Amen from the new project. It is a pleasure to have Glenn Lavender from Down Here with us in studio at Faith FM today. Welcome, Glenn.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Good to have you here, and just raced in this afternoon on the 401. Didn't get stuck in any traffic, I hope.
No, it's a little bit slow, but it's I think it's the usual coming home from work crowd. So
this is the time of day. Yeah. Well, 9 years of ministry for Down Here. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's wonderful. Now the band formed back in 1999, I understand.
That's right.
Martel and Jason Germain were roommates at Briarcrest Bible College out there in Saskatchewan. They added fellow Canadians Tyson Manning and Jeremy Thiessen initially, and you joined the group shortly thereafter. Am I right?
Yeah, well, at Bible College in Saskatchewan, the guys basically were discovered by Word Records in Nashville, and from that point they were offered a record deal, and after like 9 months of finagling, they figured out the details and accepted and ended up moving to Nashville. And at that point, the original bass player, Tyson, stayed back in college. Basically, I think he wanted to finish up college and just didn't feel like this was where he wanted to head. So the guys came to Nashville with no bass player, and I played in another band at the time and just knew the guys because we both worked with World Vision a little bit as artists. And so anyway, I met them, and it worked out for me to join the band and move down to Nashville and be a part of what they were doing.
And the rest is history, as they say. History.
Yeah, it's been the same crew ever since.
Yeah. Now each of you have Canadian roots, as you mentioned. You're the only one still living here in Canada.
I'm the only one still here now, but all the guys are Canadian, and we all moved down in 2001. It's just I'm the only one who's come back. But they're all still there. But yeah, we're all very much Canadian and proud of it. And
you're local too.
Yeah. I'm just 10 minutes away from the station here.
And you travel a lot back and forth to Nashville, and when you guys are out on tour, you're all over the place.
I do, yeah. Like, for instance, I just on Sunday flew home from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Thursday I'll fly to Nashville. Sunday I'll fly home from Green Bay, Wisconsin, or actually Chicago, I guess it is.
But who's keeping track?
Yeah, it's always, that's as much as I know. After that, I'm lost. So.
Who looks after all this for you? I mean, obviously, this is quite the schedule you're keeping.
We're not big rock stars, so we do a lot of it. We do have a booking agency, and they take care of our, when people call in looking to book us, they'll handle that, and then that gets handed over to our management, and they say yay or nay. And then once everything's on the calendar, we got to sort out on our own how we're getting there and that sort of thing. So
yeah. Let's talk about life on the road for a second. I know you guys just kicked off your latest tour promoting the new album.
Yeah.
You mentioned you just got back and you're heading back out again in a few days. What's life like on the road? Most of us probably can't relate to that, but is it just the four of you that travel, the four guys? Or?
We travel a bit more. There's 4 guys in the band, and we travel with our sound guy, basically, and his name's Dave. He's been with us since 2002, I think. So we've had him with us for a long time. And then besides that, we have World Vision representative, who is actually our drummer's wife, and we have somebody who helps out with merchandise, who in the past has been our sound guy's wife, but my sister's actually joined us now. So we keep things pretty close. But yeah, so there's what does that mean? 7 of us basically traveling all the time, and depending on the tour, we spent the last few tours on a tour bus, and then this fall tour we decided to go back to the van and not spend all of our money on the tour bus, because boy, it gets expensive.
Yeah, buses can be costly, and there's a lot that can go wrong with a bus.
Well, between that and gas and the extra driver and all that kind of stuff, yeah, so we're trying to, I think the why we've lasted as long as we have is because what our old manager used to say is by keeping low to the ground. We're trying to live way below our means and not getting ahead of ourselves, and I think that allows us to continue with what we're doing. So.
That's good counsel for every one of us, regardless of what we do, I think.
It sure helps, yeah.
Glenn Lavender from Down Here is our guest this afternoon here on Homebound. Now, you mentioned about the fact that some of your families travel. I know you've got a young family, a fairly new baby, second child.
5 weeks old today. So.
Wow,
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, how do you balance those commitments, your family, with the the busy life of a popular Christian band member. And what's home life like for Glenn Lavender these days?
Well, when I'm home, see, the thing with being in a band and being on the road, I don't really have enough time to do any other job, because no one's going to take me for 3 or 4 days and then say, see you for 2 weeks, and that just doesn't work well. So generally when I'm home, like my family has my full attention, and obviously there's stuff to do. I got to get caught up on mail and mow the lawn. And
Radio interviews.
And I love being in my backyard, working in the garden and that kind of stuff. So there's stuff I'm doing, but when I'm home, I'm home. My family's kind of got me, and that's what we try to stick with. And that thing that gets difficult is I grew up in this area, so I've got a lot of friends here, and when you're only home for 4 or 5 days, you need to devote most of that to your own family, and it gets really hard to see everybody you want to see. So I've got some really great friends, and I just haven't seen them in 6 to 9 months, and it's so that's a bit of a drag, but they're really understanding, and so that helps a lot.
Well, that's interesting. It sounds like it's a challenge to balance it, but it also sounds like you're doing a pretty admirable job.
Well, we're trying anyway.